Do you know that there are words that become cliches? They become so overused that they mean less. We don't even think about it. Now, today's word is the word coup. The full expression is coup d'etat, the fall of the state or the taking away of the state. Now, a coup refers to a situation where the military, the army, decides to take over the government from civilians by force. They decide, we've had enough of these civilians, we'll take over the government. Now, students of history will say, oh, in Africa, Nigeria is the country which has had more coups than any other. Well, there have been coups in other countries. But if Nigeria is the worst in terms of numbers, so be it. But what is good about Nigerian coups is that it's very clear. The military leaders decide to topple the government, to remove civilians, to remove the president and his or her cabinet. And if they don't want to be removed, they go somewhere else. We don't know where that place is, either this side of paradise or the other side, or prison, not correctional services. Then they run the government. They declare it to the civilians in broadcasts, news, in all forms of communication, that we are running the government. And the people of Nigeria know that we are under military rule. Very clear, simple and straightforward. And then the military decides, well, when these civilians become sober, we'll hand over the government again. And then the elections, and then a new government takes over, and the military is watching. But there is a country where there is a coup, but we don't use that coup. You look at all the ministries where cabinet ministers sit. You find that the people who are put in place there are not running those departments. These departments, these ministries are run by people who've got money. Take, for example, the Department of Home Affairs in that country. There are people who go there and buy citizenship overnight. There are people there who even have the audacity to have access to the system. They open the offices of Home Affairs and create fraudulent documents in that country. In other countries, such people will never be heard of again. It happens. In that country, people can be smuggled in, not through the porous border, even through the international airports, by people who are cleaning. They wheel them in through dustbins, and the customs people know. If they don't come in through customs, through dustbins, they walk in straight, have their passport stamps, and they put their passports there. There's a bunch of dollars. The customs officers let them go. That is a coup. The police are run by cartels, by syndicates, by the underworld. That is a coup. Those people who are sitting there are faces who've been bought. They're as good as scarecrows. Scarecrows that birds no longer fear. You know, when the birds realize that this thing is a scarecrow, it doesn't move, they come and sit on it and even drop down on it. That is what such governments have become. And you and I know one where there's a coup, but the people that are sitting there are just scarecrows. Asante sana. Kwaheri.